Hello, everyone. This is the DPC season. I'm sorry, DPC Division 2, Tier 2, done by 40 Esports and Epulze, and I'm Bowie. So this is gonna be a solo cast for game one. We had a
Keeper of the light.
are draft already ongoing. NoPing, actually first phasing an IO. And Omega with this very interesting response here of the Kato and the Sand King. Usually you see that Sand King being paired with Rana or even a Snapfire.
10
They
seconds
instead decided
remaining.
to go this Kato. Has a little bit less, solo kill
5
potential
seconds
like
remaining.
the Murana can, but you do have this like increase in strength of the Sand King. So I will, yeah. Sorry about that, guys. I don't usually am the caster, but they go for a very standard IO gyrocopter here. I would say their opener is much better than the Omega opener. This is overall better, I think, especially because they banned the Murana there for NoPing. So this Kato Sand King, still strong. But I haven't seen it too much. Usually, I think people go for that burst damage sort of thing with Snapfire. I'm trying to think of other heroes that could maybe accomplish the same thing. No, maybe an Earth Spirit, but they also did take that out of the equation. And now it's time for lots of the bans here. They take the Razor, which is super annoying against these stationary heroes. They just want to stand their ground and attack. They also take the Ember and the Dusa as that matchup that can kind of outscale the Gyrocopter a little bit. It is relatively even, I would say, but still it is one of the best carries right now. So I see no problem with them taking that out. On side of Omega, they actually take the Lash, the Mars, and the Pingolier out. So that kind of, I think this kind of pushes towards the direction of illusion heroes. Because they took Mars out, I actually feel like they might go Terrorblade or Naga, heroes that actually struggle with the arena itself. Because PL, another illusion hero that I think actually matches up really well versus the IO and the Gyro, doesn't care that much about Mars. So that, they don't have an offlaner on the side of NoPing, so maybe that's why they take the Mars. It is a strong pick regardless. But those bans kind of make me believe they're going for this illusion hero sort of thing. They're probably going to get it late, get it as a 4th pick. It is the overall last pick of this phase, which allows them to ban the heroes that are strong against that. So let's see how NoPing will respond to this Disruptor. Usually very good versus IO. Having the kinetic field and the static storm against the relocate is really, really good. But yeah, that's about it so far. They actually go Dragonite Hoodwink, so they go for this combo sort of, a lot of the times in these phases, as you can see, Radiant picked twice at the beginning of the draft, and now NoPing picks twice. We're seeing a lot of burst damage combos being picked up because it is the weak phase of the draft. Whoever actually finishes a phase in a draft is in a really strong position because you can pick a hero and actually ban everything. There's no response straight away. So usually a way to kind of balance that is going for the combos as the DK Hoodwink that they went for. So yeah, that's cool. The break, I don't think the break necessarily is going to be really good, but Hoodwink does offer a little bit of AoE, which I think their draft lacks. But they don't go for the carry I actually talked about. They went for this Storm, a hero that does get countered a little bit by the DK, especially if you have this global presence of the IO to bring more damage once the Dragonite stun lands. But, I mean, they might not have enough damage on NoPing yet. I think the last hero they go for should be a hero that also brings a little bit of damage so they can burst the Storm, especially now, like you see the Storms going for the Kaya Sanjas and everything. The hero actually gets pretty bulky. He does have an HP talent at 15. I think they're lacking just enough damage. But yeah, overall, draft looks pretty good for NoPing, I would say. You get this IO Gyro, super value set of heroes on the DK and the Hoodwink. You have this break mechanic for whatever reason Omega wants to pick up. And they actually banned the Luna. I don't think Luna is really a hero they were aiming for, but NoPing, they're just banning the matchups they don't feel comfortable with, which is fine. You know, especially when I look at this Disruptor, Luna doesn't strike me as a hero they can go for, just because it would be a too ranged
10 seconds remaining.
safe lane, which very often I think is weak. This Disruptor kind of indicates they might, you know, go for that PL, Terror Blade, some sort of illusion hero that also is melee or melee for some time. You know, Terror Blade does get range once you pop Metamorphosis, but it is overall a common hero. They actually get Invoker for NoPing. Alright, so you have this. At the end of the day, they did flex that DK pretty well. It goes to the off lane, so that's going to be their off lane duo. Pretty weak lane, I would say. Not a lot of burst damage. Obviously, Dragon Knight also doesn't lose that many lanes, but I could see a world where, you know, they just get Ursa and they kind of destroy this DK. Not sure if that's what Omega wants to do with their draft. You know, considering the heroes that they banned, I am not entirely sure that's the path they want to take. But, you know, I think a Monkey King or Ursa of some sort. Actually, Monkey King, when you have Storm, not really that great.
Templar
But they go
Assassin.
TA, not as how can I say, not as like mega strong versus DK, but still really good against melee heroes in general. He does have that extra armor. It's not gonna stomp the lane as hard as Ursa. That's what I meant. But still, you know, hero that farms really fast that would be able to match RDO's Gyrocopter farm overall. And it is kind of a melee hero, alright? Sure, you can say it's range, but in the lane itself, it is pretty much melee. So the dynamic of having melee plus range overall is almost maintained, you know? There's not that many rules in Dota, but I think for the people watching, it's good to have a set of rules where things make a little bit of sense. Alright, so we should be getting into the game. I do favor NoPing's draft a little bit more though. I think they have a lot of late game. They are overall looking like the better team. They did drop a game towards Wolf Team recently, but you know, we talked about damage lacking in their lineup, and they get Invoker, probably one of the highest overall DPS heroes in the game. You also have this good matchup on the Invoker versus Storm in lane. You're going to be able to drain his mana. As the game goes on, I think the matchup isn't really bad for Storm. But, yeah, looking pretty good, I would say. And let's see what happens here, guys. Pretty excited. It is going to be Dark Demon Coddle. So we're going to have a lot of wave shove. You know, that kind of scares me a little bit when I see heroes like Underlord or Sand King with Coddle that just shoves waves too much. I feel like sometimes it just give free farm to the enemy team. So being able to like farm the camps, the small camp and the large camp to kind of get an advantage overall in farm could be a good idea. Because I guess they have maybe enough damage to contest under tower and actually go for kills. But yeah, I feel like a lot of times people like you get a lot of farm on the Sand King, but you also give farm away because you're not like denying. This hero just shoves the wave way too much. I guess that's what I mean. All right. So yeah, guys, this is a solo cast for game 1. We might get a co-caster for game 2. I usually am not a caster, so I apologize. I think the way I'll use the camera and the way I talk might be pretty bad, but please bear with me. I am doing my best. And as always, guys, the soft American pause, the beauty. Everyone loves it, right? Everyone but the caster here. But, you know, internet problems happen. I think they're both playing Argentina, if I am not mistaken. So, maybe some issue with that, some high ping, just reset your computer. Or maybe, you know, just grabbing a piece of cake, just going to the bathroom, because you didn't have the whole draft to maybe do that. You have to wait for the game. That's how it works. I heard, at least in the South American countries, that they you actually get a fine. You have to pay money if you don't pause the game. It is pretty much like a country. You're forced to go to the army. You're also forced to pause the game. It happens everywhere, I think. And yeah, we have a pause, my boys and girls. I'm sure there's a couple girls watching. So, in terms of the lanes here, right? We're gonna have this Hoodwink DK versus a TA Disruptor. I think that's a really good lane for Omega. That's probably the lane that they have to, because I feel like mid and top are gonna be kind of even. I think the Sand King farms. There might be a chance that they can kill with the Gyrocopter. It really depends on how RDO wants to play, right? Usually you see Gyros just getting that flat cannon, ignoring Rocket Barrage, but when you're playing with IO, you do get a bigger benefit of learning Rocket Barrage because you amplify. There's damage amplification that comes from Overcharge. Not that much, but like not only that, but you have the mana to actually use Rocket Barrage a little bit more, so you are incentivized. If he does play this Rocket Barrage lane, then there's a chance that NoPing can actually get a couple of stop. But I would expect these lane top to be kind of even, as well as mid, at least in terms of farm. And then bottom is really where things could swing both sides. But yeah, that's about it. I'll miss you here. His first game with NoPing, they did actually remove. I guess they did replace their carry Margio. He was playing position 4, and now El Misho, the old 4 for Hokori, if I'm not mistaken. I think Theolicor joined Hokori. El Misho was teamless for a bit. Now he is joining the NoPing ranks. In terms of bounties here, looks like it is going to be even, and it is time for the laning stage, guys. Just want to say, we're starting right now. I will miss First Blood. There is a 1 in 3 chance that I don't miss First Blood, and that one chance is in case I am actually looking at the lane where the fight begins. All right. Oh, very nicely de-ward there. Kind of a late ward from Duster, right? Maybe he wanted to maximize the duration, but if he did place it a little bit earlier, I'm pretty sure. Also, kind of scared the volume is too loud. I will need 5 minutes until someone actually tells me that compares to the way. But yeah, bottom lane. Let's take a look here on left. It's really nice. Overall, looks like Mingate having pretty dandy time. I don't think there's much to say. This lane's kind of boring until a couple of levels. When you get a couple of spells being used, because TA doesn't even have a spell level 1. Just the passive, right? Top lane, Sand King, that's pretty much how I envision this lane. Like, he's just gonna use Caustic. They're gonna try and stack this camp, so there's gonna be like a battle for these two camps. However, I think it's really Omega. They don't even want to block this because they want to farm everything. This here just shoves the lane, and while they're forced to be under tower, I think they really want to maximize their farm on the other two heroes. Sure, there might be a couple of harass coming from Dark Demon. They could go for a kill. But it really depends on how well Duster actually positions in lane, right? You want to make sure that your Thedder is up at all times, and that you don't really align with the Gyrocopter with the angle that Dark Demon chooses to illuminate. That's going to be very important. Yeah. Pretty chill game. Suits actually struggling a little bit here. We are playing Argentina, so I would assume Suits actually has a higher ping. But this matchup in Invoker doesn't have the greatest base damage, especially when you're playing Rex, so it's still kind of bound to do a little bit better, I would say. In the bottom lane, we do see the support here just fighting. El Misho probably wanted to pull, but Disruptor doing a good job at preventing that from happening. It looks like the lane's going to push, but it's really good for the TA. And Storm actually doing well. I guess some of the CS is actually neutral creeps, and he does get his mana drained by suits. Oh, there you go. I lost. I said, guys. I said I was going to miss first blood, so I did warn all of you. And they do actually kill this disruptor. I didn't expect that to happen. I think that's probably a mistake from Namikaze here. Okay, so pretty deep for a range creep, taking some creep damage, some hero damage. Although the refraction should be okay. Also has the same one charge, I think so. Yep, pretty good here. I mean, that's the dream, honestly. I don't think this is supposed to happen. Disruptor, I hear, actually trades really well against low HP hero like Hoodwink, as long as they're using all their spells on the Hoodwink. I didn't expect that to happen, especially, DK, super slow hero, no boost. How did they even land their spells? I guess it was Disruptor being a little bit low HP with the Bushra walking, but still just bad positioning. Top lane, they also get a kill onto Dark Demon. Looks like Lisex kinda retreated to pop himself, and Decado was a little bit out of position, so very unfortunate for Omega. But the dream here for NoPing, they are doing really well. Lanes mid being the only place where you could see like J Murray having a clear advantage over suits. Actually getting many more denies, even stealing a couple of the small camps. Top lane will die. So did they go for the rocket barrage? Yeah, they did. 2 points already, so that is a lot of extra damage. They can chase as long as they have the sentry control, right? As long as their sentries are one in the lane, they will be able to go for plays like this. Okay, all right. I mean, NoPing's just outplaying Omega in every single game. That's a lot of. Okay. This is just sheer outplay. There is absolutely no way the Storm doing so well should die middle. And then it's a solo kill, right? That's really rare nowadays because there's water runes and so much incentive. Oh, interesting. All right, that's not a play I've seen since. That's pretty cheeky. I like it. Bottom lane, Misha still trading here. Namikaze kind of running. Okay, that's literally what happened last time, right? I guess he was a little bit better positioned this time, but it's still gonna be enough for NoPing to get a kill. Jesus, that's a stomp, guys. I don't think you can sugarcoat this. Especially some lanes that just should not be feeding kills. Lots of good momentum here coming from Omega. J Murray, he was actually ahead by a pretty decent amount, and now behind in level 6. But I already committed a couple of spells, but good rotation from Misha. Can they actually get the tornado? They can with the bushwhack. That should be more than enough damage. 7-0. NoPing, they're not messing after that loss to Wolf team. Looks like they pretty much just tanked a full rocket barrage. I guess that allows Lisex to live, but this is very weird. Omega lane questionable Dota 2 right now. Ngate does trade here with Sexy Fat. Dude, the DK is winning yes against the TA. That has to be. I don't think that happens every day. There's some very I don't want to use the word odd, but rare, right? That's just output. I don't think those things should happen. You kind of get irritated if you get a kill somewhere else. Bushwhack is there, but J Murray should be able to clear this one. Very nicely done. No TP rotations, so you trade both supports. But I guess both mids actually getting the kills. So overall, even trade. Probably slightly better for Omega since they are pretty far behind. Mingate does kind of feel the presence of suits, so it was not really moving too much. Yes, the lane is pushing at the end of the day, so it doesn't matter that much. He will get those creeps eventually. But that level advantage already popped the Dragon Form. Kind of a battle here. Mingate being pushed away by the DK. Oh, there we go. Another boost back. This time there's no Dragon Tail. 2 seconds finally up. But now, Mingate is the one that tanks it. That's so sad. They keep on going for Namikaze here, and that is another kill. Oh boy. Yeah, that's unfortunate, guys. That's that's really unfortunate. DPA losing the lane really hard. Jamer gets his mana drained. Doesn't have a lot for his zip. Does use his Vortex to maybe get away with the bottle charge. That's enough. Can he juke Suits though? He might be able to Suits. Oh, very nicely done by Jamery. He does survive, but still, like, they're just surviving, right? Not feeding kills. Look at this Sand King, man. He's level 4 against a 5 that is level 5. This is as bad as it gets. This is like the nightmare. This is the PTSD of any offlaner. Usually this doesn't happen. These days I think the offlane got much easier. This matchup, you know, is hard, but I really feel like they were just feeding way too many kills. The way they are playing in the lanes is quite sloppy, and NoPing just abused that. They won all 3 lanes. They played really well. I think their idea on how the lane's supposed to be was really good. NoPing and Omega, because there was one, they are struggling. Oh, we do see some things here. So it looks like they do want to make sure Lissax does even farm this range creep. Okay, you might have stepped a little bit too far. There's a sentry, there's a missile. Lissax, a sandstorm means nothing. Dead under tower, dominating streak for the gyrocopter. Jeez Louise, this is not great. This is oh, caster voice very quiet. Alright, I guess what I can do is I'm very sorry. That is the loudest my mic goes. But I should probably buy a compressor. So I do apologize. Hopefully it is a little bit better now. In the mid lane, Sexy Fat here doing you know, Dragonite things. He gets the bottom tower, now rotates with the cooldown up. I mean, this is just looking like straightforward Dota. You know, obviously there is some late game possibilities here for Omega, but when you look at the Sand King, dude, like this just feels like a game where the enemy team is smurfing. Like they just multiple smurfs even. Because that just very rarely happens these days, even against a better team, you know. So kudos to NoPing. I think you know, their draft was definitely a little bit better. I think their opener with this Io Gyro, you know, in comparison to that Kotl Sand King that they went for. Usually Kotl at least does well in lane. Oh my lord, these sides. 0 and 3. Even learns Epicenter, which is not something we see a lot when a Sand King is losing. Okay, mid lane also. We see Suits just solo killing the Storm once again. But as I was saying, sometimes you even see that second point in Caustic or even Burrow Strike without Epicenter, because you just want to farm your Blink so much that you just jungle faster with points in the other spells. And this Epi, you know, doesn't do anything. He's even more far behind. He's also not farming. They didn't stack, right? I guess they are going to stack with Namikaze now, but they feel very lost. Their rotations are not being smooth. Oh, I mean, they're not even going to stack. They're gonna... Oh, what? He dodged the smoke with his zip. And now this ward is going to reveal... Well, maybe if it's only the Storm, maybe that will bait them somehow. Well, okay. Well, this is very awkward. I think if the Storm actually walked in, that would be a bait for NoPing. They'll see the Storm, they're like, oh, maybe we can kill this guy. He's alone, and the supports will be smoked. But, yeah, they awkwardly move in. They have absolutely no vision. Dark Demon will TP out, but he's still a level 5 Kotl. And now... Everyone is solo in this top lane. Lissax, he doesn't have a TP. He's gonna grab the short end of the stick one more time. And dude, I don't see how you recover. Like, there's no stacks. This TA is farming at an absurdly low rate. Top lane, they lose this disruptor that barely could even like cast his static storm. RDO, massive. Actually rushed this diffusal blade, which is actually very good versus TA because you do an extra instance of damage. I mean, not that they don't have enough, but they have like a shitload of instances of damage. And also, I really think is that like they're just stomping the lane so hard that this early power spike with the BKB just allows them to. They don't need to farm. Farming actually kind of plays into Omega's lineup because their timings become overall late on the side of Omega, I would say. Not late, but later than NoPing, especially when they're ahead. So if they just chilled and farmed, I think they would be giving Omega a chance. Not that they have any chance, I think. Like, this 117 is crazy, but you know, we should probably look at the bright side. Like, can they get one kill? Sometimes you just need to set very lower goals for you. Okay, Sun Bushwhack is the smoke rotation of NoPing. They find another kill, very nicely done. And no, that's really good what they're doing. They're farming the Omega side of the map. So sure, you could say, Bowie, you said they're not gonna farm. Yeah, they're not gonna farm their side of the map. They're winning so hard that now, not only they keep farming, but they prevent the Omega side from farming. Look where Senkin has to be to farm, and that also means he's not gonna be nearby all of his allies that could be in trouble. Jamery forced to TP out, very nicely done, but once again, that is a non-death. Nothing was accomplished. It's just a very sad state of affairs. But finally, we have the blink on Lisex. So hopefully, hopefully everything's gonna be all right for them. They can maybe smoke. They are yet to use that storm. They're yet to use any ults besides the TA traps. I mean, and the storm OT. I don't think Epicenter. I guess it was used once, so I apologize. If they can find, you know, I guess the Jar would be probably the best one. Invoker also, you know, feels pretty juicy. Let's take a look on the net worth here. Not that matters too much right now. You know, NoPing is damn rich, and that Omega Esports. That is all we know. Okay, that is good. Can they actually find the Jar? Relocate on Duster. Okay, cancel. Relocate there on Duster, and that will be 2 heroes dead on the side of NoPing. Pretty good. That's the beginning that they needed, but they will lose the storm as Suits gets that kill and Kato gets obliterated. So that's a 3-for-2. Still though, very, very favorable for Omega, I would say. You can even see the fight recap here. Actually double the amount of gold going towards them. Pretty even exchange in experience. So yeah, that's fine. TA is still farming through all of that, so pretty cool. I am not a fan of the death, so I kind of feel like Mingatti has to rush BKB, and then they might have like a 10% chance of taking a good fight. That said, we are approaching the 3-2-2 score meme, so guys. You know, I want the chat telling whether this is gonna be 421. It's definitely not ideal, but or 2-2. We could be there any minute. I think it's very probable because NoPing doing really well. Shard now being purchased by DK with the Blink Dagger on top of it, so looking pretty farm on Sexy Pad. That is one of the most farmed DKs. Like usually they're just offlane DKs. They're pretty poor. You just want to rush your Blink and then get BKB, but he was able to, you know, get treads and soaring and wands. Sometimes you'll see just like brown boots with stick. He is definitely looking pretty good, even though he's not farming that much. So that's just all of the tower golden experience. I did hear a Dragon Tail. Dark Demon gets pushed back by the Bushwhack, but doesn't matter. El Mishu on a mega kill streak as Mingatti farms the last ancient cube. So they pop the dust, but Mingatti is just a little bit too fast. He gets clipped by it, but he was not in this. So once again, NoPing aggressively controlling the triangle, just choking Omega really, really hard. And Omega trying to find a Hail Mary. Like, that's all they can kind of hope for, I think. Maybe get a lucky smoke. Okay. Nice Sunstrike there. That is going to be a dead disruptor. Jamery has a fair amount of mana. The Blink, they actually get a triple Pearl Strike. Okay, that is the luckiest Blink Dagger I've ever seen in my life. Lisex, you god. Or Lisex, you very lucky man, as RDO trying to see if you have TA traps. Bushwhack though finds Mingatti kind of an odd angle. Can they first RDO? They will. So that's still really good for Omega as Lisex gets chased down, probably killed, but you know, with a 4-4-3, I don't think they're gonna care too much about that. The problem is Dark Demon doesn't have a TP for 45 seconds. He might just be forced to stay here for a while. Alright, I mean, that's pretty good. I don't think anyone's complaining about that. That is 4 times the amount of XP that Omega got in that fight, and like almost 20 times the gold. Am I? Yeah, I guess it's 20 times. It's pretty early here, guys. So my brain's not working that well. Still need a cup of coffee. But yeah, this is looking good. Much better than I actually didn't expect them to get a single kill. You know, after that lucky smoke that they got and found the gyro and the IO. But knowing that some spells were used, NoPing very smartly walks towards a Roche between the electricity. This should be a free Roche on 47 seconds for the epicenter. Omega, they're pretty far behind. They know it doesn't really make any sense to contest it. So, you know, even though their lanes were terrible, I kind of commend them for their macro game in this big game. I think they actually did some okay things, but their laning stage play was not great, especially because I don't think those lanes are supposed to, like, I don't think the Storm should ever be solo killed by a Storm. So I mean, it does happen, but I think it's pretty rare. Especially when the Storm was winning so hard, right? He was controlling the runes pretty well. He was even stealing the small camp. So, unfortunate for them. But, you know, that's probably the best they looked this whole game. So, kudos to Omega, looking very, very well. At least comparatively so far. And they're going to try and force this bottom tier 1 tower. They're pretty scared. You can see that even Pop is banked, but NoPing, they're all chilling. They know they are farming much more of the map. They own like 70% of Ice Frog's real estate right now. And, you know, Omega, they are not farming. They're just grouped up here trying to get 1 tower. They just want to open up the map a little bit. And, you know, getting this tower at 19 minutes is usually okay, but if the other tower is up, that's when you know something is very, very wrong. Top lane, Ardio just very slowly taking that tower. I guess, you know, without the Invoker Alacrity, they don't have that much pushing power, but Suits will actually walk towards them. They do have double BKBs on the most important course. Sexy Fast BKB takes a little bit longer to get there. But yeah, Omega just forced to feed off of Scrapes. This is definitely not good. Get the tier 2 tower. They're also heading top as they force middle. No real chance for Omega to do anything so far. We do have this Cotto. He actually got a fair amount of level, right? Level 11 when you compare him to Dustin. He's actually looking good now. The Sex does find his stun on Ardio. Oh, that is very sketchy. Why would not the greatest game. Like, I think Lissex got a couple of lucky burrow strikes, but I think some of his decision making was very odd. Like, I'm not sure what he expected to happen there. Just burrow striking without his team being in position. Okay, kind of a long zip. Suits doesn't panic, doesn't pop that BKB. He understands how much an advantage they have, and oh, what the? Alright, they actually just find the disruptor. And they're gonna keep pushing Storm, trying to cut the wave, but the catapult is up, and there is no glyph on the side of Omega, so the catapult will be up. Really good push, by the way, because they were able to protect the catapult even with the glyph, and now that allows them to keep pushing even against the Cotto. Cotto usually makes things like this pretty hard because of the clear the wave, backdoor protector eventually kicks in, and you do have a Storm Cotto, so you hit. What is happening? Misha just playing around with them. Some random burrow strikes, but Omega, they do defend their melee barracks. Alright, that's better than I expected. Very cool. Now, time for them to get the tier 2 tower. I mean, this game is pretty straightforward. I'm trying to find ways here for Omega to do something about this, but it looks very grim. You know, you have to wait his Aegis first of all, so they might be going for the high ground siege once the Aegis ends, but looks like they're not even going for the tier 2 towers. They're just gonna keep farming all of these ancients from Omega. That is one problem that this TA hero has. You kind of need to physically be close to the places you're farming, right? You're not a Terrorblade, so that means Yeah, there's no farm from Ingate. Oh boy, he gets jumped. Doesn't pop the BKB. Will do it now, but it might be too late. Meld is there, but he gets trampled. And I don't think they should even, yeah, they have to get the hell out, but the Bushwhack will find a Disruptor. And there you go, 2 for Nail. The BKB was a relatively okay timing. I don't know, Omega feel totally lost. They actually look pretty good in some of the games that they watched, but they're just showing cores by themselves without the proper positioning to be able to react to this sort of aggression that will for sure come from NoPing, right? They're super farm, they're ready to end this game. They just wanted Omega to open the doors, and that's what DTA did there. Unfortunate, because as I was saying, there's not really a place in the map for this TA. She's just wandering around. Can't really TP anywhere as well, or else there will be a relocate, and TA cannot do anything. Doesn't have a blink. Even the BKB will not be enough to save TA. Alright, so they're gonna fight with this Aegis expiring. It just did, by the way. So Sexy Fat will be the first casualty. Sunstrike though finds very nicely done. They get a Squirrel for their trouble, but still, the status quo remains. They're just farming so much. They're actually taking objectives on NoPing. Poker though is alone, but there's no stuns on these 2 heroes combined, so I don't think Suits cares at all. So I mean, they have some really cool combos in this Omega draft, right? When you think about this meld with the Chakra Magic, when you think of the Burrow Strike with Chakra Magic, overall you're gonna have very low downtime, or low downtime on those spells. Even the Storm with the Electric Vortex and just being able to cut waves is good, but they just lost their lanes way too hard. I think a better team, or a team that who woke up in the right side of the bed, could definitely make this look a little bit more. So I don't want to blame the draft too much. I think South American teams in general just don't use Kotl well at all. So that's not really a criticism towards Omega. It's really a criticism towards South America picking Kotl. But this time he did go for the recall. So I guess that's one way that maybe they could split push with the TA. You can actually show up in lanes and get recalled. Oh, and there you go. They are kind of recalling this TA as they go for a smoke gank. The Radiant scan doesn't find anyone, but they're relatively close. Do they have the high ground? They do. Oh my! Oh boy! Yep. That's unfortunate. That's how far behind they are. They see the gyrocopter. They jump the gun. They were salivating for a pick. But they pick up a Manta Illusion. No, that's actually just an illusion. That's so unfortunate. Like, I really feel like they could have probably got a couple of kills. It wouldn't really change the game too much, and they also didn't push this wave, so pretty bad move, honestly. You just smoke with no idea of where they are. You don't push your lanes, and then they just walk towards your tower, and you just might die. J-Marie actually here was trying to cut some waves, apparently. Gets picked up by Omisho. His Hoodwink is on point. Honestly, I think he was the one that got first blood. He overall played really well. And this might just be GG, guys. I think it was a good attempt from Omega. But yeah, there you go. GG is called by J-Marie. Hopefully, they will have a better showing game. So guys, I am Bowie. I'm usually not a caster, so I apologize for the mic volume. I know that was a problem. I'll try my best to fix here in the second game of the series. Also, we might have a co-caster for game 2. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching. Love you guys, and that's it.